This painting was actually a study that I started based off of overcommitting yourself to things and burnout as a student, because currently I'm taking 17 credits, so it felt all too necessary to talk about this. But the piece itself is a photo that I took of my little sister surrounded by all of the activities that she does. So she is a full-time student in high school. She plays soccer as a goalie. She's a wrestler, and she is currently studying a lot of science. And whenever she gets home from one of these long days that she has, she will crash on our carpet in our living room, surrounded by her pile of random things. And it inspired me to do almost a still life of her and what she does, because there's so much of it. My story in relation to all of this started for me in high school, and this was especially bad my senior year of high school when I was working on applying to colleges, because I wanted to have that multifaceted application that everybody says that you need today, which, to be fair, is also very important for getting into school, but I had for sure stretched myself way too thin. I was president of 2 different clubs on campus. I was captain of the color guard. I fenced during the winters, and I was a part of multiple other organizations on campus, all while working and doing the theater shows, just all of these different things. And I didn't really take breaks because I didn't have the time for it. I would be out of my house from 7 in the morning until 9 at night, and even then I'd be doing homework and all of these other things whenever I had any free time. So when it came to my joints and finding out that I have hypermobility spectrum disorder, it meant that I was forced to slow down in a way that I had not anticipated. Basically, at the beginning of my senior year, I had a pretty large flare-up, even though we didn't know what it was. And I gave myself tendonitis in both shoulders and both hips, which does not bode well for color guard season, because for those of you who do not know, color guard means that I was spinning flags in the marching band. So both marching and throwing a 6-foot-long pole with a flag attached to it up into the air above my head. So I ended up having to sit out a portion of that season, as well as the entirety of fencing season for my senior year, because my body was fighting back and I couldn't keep up. This made me think about everything in a completely new light, because I hadn't had to ever stop because of my body before. I had always been able to get everything done, and now I had a limited amount of time and a limited amount of capacity for doing the things that I could do in a day. I could only work on so many projects at once before I needed to take breaks because I was in pain. And this made me change the way that I think about joining activities. So when I got to college for my freshman year, I actually surprisingly did not sign up for just about anything, which I've also realized is not my thing. I love to be involved with groups and doing things where I am and with whatever community I'm surrounded by. So that helped me realize that I am not the type of person who cannot be involved and be happy. But as I started to add in things to my schedule, I made sure that those things were things that I was truly involved in, both in my body and my mind and my soul. So, working to figure out what fueled me and what gave me energy, and what was important enough that I would want to be in pain for it, because the pain was no longer truly avoidable. So it had to be something that was worth it enough to defy my body in some cases. And otherwise, working on setting boundaries between what I can do and what I can't do. Learning how to say no to people when they are asking you to do things or inviting you places, because that is what is better for your body in that certain scenario. And just because you say no once doesn't mean that it's always a no. And just because you say yes once, it doesn't mean that it's always a yes. This painting for me was really about the things that I lost when I started to get burnt out, because in addition to being burnt out for the things that I had to do, I also got burnt out with the things that I wanted to do, like paintings. And this painting was honestly a way for me to start painting again during my daily life, because as a student, I've gotten crazy busy, and now I have 17 credits worth of classes, which at my school it's typically 12 to 15 credits for a semester. So I'm currently overloading in the amount of work that I'm doing, which doesn't give me a lot of free time at all. And in order to get myself to create on top of all that I'm doing, it takes a lot of willpower and determination, because I need to get myself to set things up even when I'm tired, and to do it anyways, in spite of everything else that is going on, that I could be working on, that I could be doing, everything that I tell myself I should be doing, because this is something that I love to do, and something that makes me happy to spend my time on. And trying to work towards bringing that joy back into my life as time goes on, because I know it won't be a change that happens right away, because being burnt out isn't just something that you can turn on or off, but I'm slowly coming back into both creating and being myself, because as time goes on, I have learned to set better boundaries, and I have grown as a person and as an artist. It's given me so many new subject matters and projects that I want to work on that I've been hoarding for the past year or so. And I'm just so excited to finally have the opportunity and the desire to work on them. I think my biggest mindset change came in with remembering and reminding myself that even something done is better than nothing done, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because I used to be such a perfectionist with all of my projects, and I wanted all of the little details to be perfect, but it got to the point where that meant that I wasn't actually working on the projects, and then they weren't getting done because I was scared to even start them. So I've been working on getting more used to letting things be and trying to show up in any way I can, and also accepting when I do need to rest versus when I can push through and work a little bit harder on something, because knowing your body and your limits is very, very helpful, and it's such an important skill to cultivate.